Oh, hey guys. It's a little bright outside. Fuck. Ah, I'm so glad another week just started yesterday because last week was a really, really long week. It started off good. Like, it started off amazing. It was like I was on pace for about 4,000, well, no, at least 4,000 miles, anywhere from 3,800 to 4,200. As far as looking to end that week on. Picked up a load on the 27th. Today's 2nd of September, but picked up a load on the 27th. I was going up to Toma, Wisconsin, for those who don't know. The Walmart DC, one of my. It's a toss between Cheyenne DC and Toma. Like, which one's my favorite? Because they're both really good. Cheyenne, when I mention, hey, this is my load to going home, if I'm going to Cheyenne, they seem to kind of get, because I tell them, hey, I live like 2 hours away from here up north, they just seem to unload me faster. Like, last time I was there, I told them that. I mean, to be fair, I had like 10 pallets, but within like 40 minutes, I was in a door. It took like 20 minutes for the guy to come out to me and to make sure like it's all chalked and everything. Like, they do that. And then I told him, hey, is there any way you can give me, I literally said I'll tip him like $20. He gets me out of here within like 30 minutes. So I was trying to go home, and I lived up in Casper, right? And he says, no, I can't take money, but I got you. And he had me unloaded and within 20 minutes. So I was like, shit. So I was in and out of that Walmart DC in an hour. But I was going up to Toma. I picked up out of Reedley, so pretty much Fresno. Garwan Farms, or Garwan, I don't know, whatever one, probably Garwan. 37,000 pounds of mixed fruit, fresh fruit, but mixed fruit. It wasn't bad. It was, downside is, because I went to California with like extremely low fuel, so I put in like 60 gallons, and that was like $500. Fucking ridiculous. And that was to get me as far out as I can into the cheaper areas. I don't like too much stopping, because the way I do my fuel is like I try to shoot for like an overall like average thing that slowly moves depending on the day. But I also don't want to keep stopping just to penny pinch more than maybe once, because that doesn't sound like I'm losing much time doing that, but it adds up. You do that 2 or 3 times a day, it adds up. You can easily lose 20-30 minutes of driving time, because technically also you're supposed to be on duty when you're fueling, plus getting off the interstate, depending on where the area you can get into the truck stop, it could be 5 minutes, and then getting out of the truck stop onto the interstates could be like another 5 minutes. But I mean, it adds up, is what I'm saying. It's like, I know it sounds stupid, but it adds up, and I like to maximize my clock. Now, I will stop. Like, I'm not gonna stop for $5-10, right? That's not really my thing. But if it's like gonna save me $30 to $50, I will stop. I don't know, a little weird, but whatever. I can easily make up that $5-10 easily. Just $30-50, it's a little harder for me to make up. But yeah, I got fuel. I don't remember where. It was over the Grapevines. It was coming out of Commerce. It was over somewhere up over the Grapevine, below it. I don't remember exactly where. Or the Pilot, or Flying J. Then I got fuel Mesquite. The reason why is I stopped to fill it up the reefer also. And I was like, well, I'm here, might as well fucking get fuel. And it was only about, I ended up paying about 20 cents more than I would have if I got like 30 more gallons on at my next stop. But I was just starting to get tired at this point, so I didn't really want to stop again, because when you're starting to get tired of the energy, doesn't sound like much, but stopping, getting out of the truck, doing the fuel, cleaning the windshield and all that, it adds up. So I just wanted to fucking keep my pace, what I was doing, just kind of barrel through the last couple hours without me having to do an extra stop. So I overpaid for fuel at that point. I mean, at that point I was like $1,300 on fuel for a 2100. Well, 21's like 50-mile run. So I was like, yeah. Part of that is due to the way I ended last week, because I only filled. I was going out of home, only did 2,000 miles because that's how I was only able to squeeze in one trip before the next week pay period. So that was 2 fills all the way to California, and I was like, I went to California pretty much right above E. So sucks. Happens. It sucks. So you know, at the point is day 2 though, because I stopped at Fillmore day 1, right? At Fillmore, Utah, at the Loves. Everything was fine, right? Nothing happened. And then day 2, I ended up stopping at Edgemont, South Dakota. So I was going up the going up the I-90 through Wyoming. Swung through the house, you know, stopped, saw the girl and all that, and swung through the house. Everything was fine. Well then, I shut down, do a 10. I get up to get inside the truck. I cycle the key. And I had a video that I was gonna show you guys like somewhere around this point, but I guess the save or whatever, the video file got corrupted, so it's knocking out the window. So I'm gonna just tell you the problem instead of showing you the problem at this point. Cycle the key. I got power, engage a cycle, go to crank, and it's silent. There's no even sounds of it trying to crank it. It's just silent. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. I do it a couple more times, try it. I was like, nothing. It's like, okay, maybe it's just a sensor or some glitch in the system. So I did the battery shut off, and I was troubleshooting myself before I kind of chose the next step. Did the battery shut off for 10 minutes? Nope, same thing. And at the time, the truck, when I went to start it originally, it was 13 volts. So it was like, maybe you've been running all day at this point. And so I wasn't like, okay, it's not, even if it has like low batteries or like, well, bad batteries, it will still try to crank, because it will still try. It's still getting the signal, right? There's still some power. So I was like, okay, is the starter bad? Although at this point though, I've ran for 2 days. I've also been out of home time. Just came out of the house and been on the road for a week. Well, about a week. They had no hard start. So I was like, okay, it's a little weird that the starter all of a sudden just go out like that. Like, you know, no signs of issues, and all of a sudden, like literally the next day, it's like a light switch. It's dead. Like there ain't no sign, you know, there's no hint, nothing. It was just completely opposite. I was like, that's a little weird, but alright, I mean, it's possible, I guess. It takes a lot of power a big starter takes a lot of power to turn over this big motor. I was like, okay. So I called breakdown. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure it's not the batteries. Like, almost positive. Like, almost 100%. And I'm pretty sure, like, my starter's fucked. Or something along the lines involved the starter. Because it's not just starters in the system. Like, there's, for example, a starter relay, which tells the engine, or when you switch the key and you go to crank, it tells the fucking starter to crank. So there was no, like, it could be the relay, which gives and receives the signal for the starter. So it could be that. Could be a ground. Possible. I mean, things like to vibrate themselves loose in these trucks. You guys remember, last year my fucking seat, the base of my seat, the cushion came loose from the frame from vibrations. Supposedly you put a more permanent fix on it. I don't know, because this comes from the factory, glue and a nut and bolt. So you know, how the fuck did it come loose? I don't know. Sorry, nose itchy. But now at this point, it's like, 28. Alright, so I must pick up the load out of California, 26 in. Alright, so it's a 28, and it's like, it's like 2000 at this point, 2030. They call it tow truck. Luckily, Rapid City is like an hour. Well, I'm 80 miles away, an hour. Tow company calls me and they said they'll be there like by like 1 a.m. I was like, okay, cool. Then they call me around 11. It's 2300, and they're like, we got a PD call, which means they take priorities. PD call, like PD calls you, they expect like if you're available, they go at the top of the line, because it usually means an accident or somebody's a hazard on the road, something needs to be moved off the road, or it's affecting traffic pretty much. And they're like, we probably can get to you to about 05:30. And I was like, what the okay, fine. It's not their fault, but fine. They call, 05:30 rolls around, they don't show up. 0600 rolls around, they don't show up. It's like, call them. I'm like, you guys forget about me? I'm like, oh, no. We had I guess they were literally like 20 minutes away from me. That's where their PD call was. So they just dropped it off, and then they'd be out to me, an hour. I was like, okay. Well, they showed up like 2 hours later. It was like 2 hours, 15 minutes. I didn't know this about South Dakota. Side of trailer with me. South Dakota, I guess, does not allow tow trucks to tow semi and tractor hooked up together. They don't consider us one unit. So they had to bring 2 pieces of equipment. One that got the truck, one that got the trailer. Just stupid. Fucking stupid. But whatever. Makes no sense. They're pretty fast about it. I mean, they got me hooked up, and I dropped the trailer. I had it all set up to where all they had to do is yank me out. The trailer's dropped and everything, and then the other guy could go in and yank it. But I was in and out of there within 30 minutes. Go to the dealership today. Got the dealership 29th at like 9:30. Interesting. I knew right then Monday, because usually it's rare, but anytime the first day your truck shows at the dealership is not being seen. Can happen. Most likely it's not. Usually it's the very next day it gets at least looked at. So I went, there's the Rapid Cities, the Freightliner dealership. There's a really good location. There's got 4 hotels nearby, all kinds of food options. It's not good food, it's fast food, but Taco John's, McDonald's, Taco Bell, maybe a couple others. But so I go to the hotel, I got asshole with me, the cat, and I wait. It's all on Tuesday. I go all over Tuesday because it's literally just walk across the highway, the bypass loop from the hotel. I walk across, and I go on there. I'm like, okay, what's the deal with the truck? I get told to start a relay, and I was like, oh, okay, so I was right. I said the code was showing. And I get a message the next day. Oh, well, okay, I was told I was going to be done by the end of the day, and I was like, oh, okay. I got told the very next day, after finding out the hard way that it wasn't going to be done that day, just never got a call, nothing, no communication, that it is, I got bad batteries. So I was like, okay, that's still not that, that's a little sudden. Keep in mind, the truck just spent all, because when I go home, I drop the truck off the dealership and I say, just get to it whenever. I'm here for this amount of weeks, just get to it whenever. So the truck spent 2.5 weeks dealership, getting all kinds of maintenance done. You guys have already seen that video by now, all kinds. Batteries were fine. At this point, though, to be fair, the batteries have 16 months on them on use. So that's a lot of battery usage. And batteries generally in trucks only last about a year. So you about a little over a year and a half-ish, or close to it. It's a lot of battery life and battery time. But I was like, I guess it's possible, but that doesn't explain why there was no cranking period. It was silent. But I put I put new AGM batteries in here. That's what I had last time. So I went with. I guess there was 2 that was really bad. 210% health. which, damn. But, like I said, there was no hard starting up to this point. So that either two of the batteries were carrying that much weight, which is even more impressive, or they died the same fucking time that happened. I don't know. That one's a little weird. Because 10%, that's damn near dead batteries. Like, there is no life on them, period. Especially when two of them are less than 10%. So I was like, okay, get new AGM batteries. And then it said, truck's ready for pickup. I was like, okay. I'm going to go over there, pick it up. It's Wednesday night at this point. It's like, 1800. They go to pull it up, and the tech comes in, and I don't know, I didn't know that was the tech that got sent out to go grab my truck, but I hear a tech comes in and says, it won't start. I was like, I immediately knew it was my truck. I was like, again? I was like, what's going on this time? Again? It's like, yeah, it's like it has, like, the gauge cycle and everything, just no crank. I was like, oh, it is my truck. Aha, I knew it. My gut was right. I was like, yeah, that's what I was doing. So, I had to get another, the service desk guy and me get he takes something I said the wrong way and thinks I was jumping all over him and calling him out or whatever, like, wasn't the case. Because I literally went in there and said there was no crank, no sound, period. Like, when you go to start, there's no crank, no sound. And all I did was plug in the computer, and based on what the computer said, I was like, that's not how I should fucking be doing any of this shit. I'm tired of dealerships doing this, right? Like, at least go with what the fucking person tells you. I mean, I use some different language, but go with what the driver tells you, and then go from there. Like, do your little diagnostic also, but kind of go with that in mind of what the driver's telling you. If the driver's telling you the truck's got power, the gauge cycle, but when you go to crank it, there is no sound, not even no crank. Not even an effort was being made to crank. That should tell you something that involves a starter or wiring or something. Alright, so the service guy gets the phone call, but then he does apologize to me, saying, yeah, I didn't mean to jump all over you. And it's like, I wasn't mad at him. I was like, you're fine. Like, you just took something I said the wrong way. But I go back to the hotel. And getting a phone call, but I'll answer that when I'm done. I go back to the hotel, and I'm supposed to be done tomorrow morning. I was like, cool. Thursday, I get a call like 1000. We found the problem. I was like, really? What was the problem? So JCT requires. Well, they put these in their truck, so they require a theft device, right? Anti-theft device. I didn't know I had one. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I did a sort of breakdown. I forgot to mention that. They asked me to make sure the TAS line did. That's the first time I found out about it. I was like, TAS are fine. And as far as that, I'm not actually kicking that, because that's in the very, very fucking bottom, underneath the dash, left, front left, or rear left, backwards. There's no one kicking that. Like, there's just no way. Well, what happened is, the way the JC2 hooked up to the system, they used speed connectors for the wiring down the dash, and the connectors, those speeds that crimped the wires together, fell off. So going down the road, vibrations, all that, they just fell off. The wire, all the wiring came loose. That's why the truck wouldn't start. So Freightliner, what they did is, I guess, had to take the whole dash apart, because they were going through wires and chasing, literally going through the holes, anything involving ignition to the starter, they're going through the whole system, checking fuses, the ground, all the wiring. And they just happened to stumble upon it by pure luck, I guess. They just happened to go through wires, and you found a wire that was loose. Like, there's wires just hanging there, and it was like, what the fuck? And they they did more permanent solution instead of fake connections. I guess they used butt connections, which, a little twist, a little bit more secure. And then it fired right up. I was like, okay. So I called breakdown. I was like, I don't feel like I should pay for this. At least that half, you know, at least a tow and that whole fucking treasure hunt they just had to do. That just took over 2 days because at this point I've been in a hotel for 4 days and truck was in the shop for 4 days. It's a lot of labor and bullshit that you guys require, not me. Because I mean, there's nothing I could have done to prevent that. That's it fell apart. That was your guys' work, which I didn't do all those kind of words to them because it's like to the point. I mean, I try to keep my dealings with them as professional as possible. So I was like, hey, I don't feel like I should have to pay for this. You guys required it. It's what caused the issue. You know, are you guys wanting to cover the tow? And that happened. And they said, yeah. Which they weren't thrilled about it because I guess shop and the guy I deal with that deals with the lease guys are two separate entities, and I don't know. He feels the shop should pay for it since it was their work, but whatever. Either way, they're paying for it, which is cool. I mean, because technically I didn't have to, because it is part of the truck that I'm paying for. And they're also, since I only got like 1,200 miles for the week, they're also I might have no truck payment this week. So that helps. Because went from a really, really good start to the week to jack shit. So, you know, having some money is better than nothing. But why is this truck always got a breakdown coming off pump time? Like, why is this a thing, truck? Can we stop? Like, can we just stop? Like, remember October last year? I was home, literally home. Come out home time, breaks down. I think in the 3 times it's broken down. Well, because one, it broke down like the second month I owned it. So I mean, but that was just a center. It was literally a 5-minute fix. It just had, and I was at the yard. It's a pole put, and it just got towed over a Freightliner. I had to truck back the very next day because. But only one time has it not been anywhere near home time, and that was in Florida. That was like a month after home time, so I guess it was, but whatever. But hey, you guys stay safe out there. See you next time. Bye!